Hi, Andrew here for tabletblog.de. In front of me I've got the new Samsung Galaxy Tab A 9.7 together with the iPad Air from Apple, and in this video we want to compare both tablets. This is the iPad Air 1, but basically everything I'm saying goes for the iPad Air 2 as well, because there's not that much big of a difference between those two versions. Okay, let's start with the comparison, and what you might see first is quite a similarity between the displays, because Samsung decided to put a 9.7-inch display in the Galaxy Tab A that has the same form factor like the iPad Air, which has 9.7 inches too, and it's a 4:3 format, which is unusual for Samsung because in the past most of the tablets were released with a 16:10 format, which is much longer or wider depending on how you see it, and now the formats are identical. It's 4:3. I like it because when you're browsing the web or if you're reading ebooks or something, then you have a lot more space. I just like the format better for reading. That does not go for videos though, because obviously most videos, most movies or TV shows are released in a 16:9 format, which means that you have black bars on the top and on the bottom like you used to have with those very old TVs or monitors. So that's not so good, but yeah, iPad fans know this for a long time, and now Galaxy Tab A owners have to deal with the same black bars. Okay, that's the display. Let's quickly take a look at the rest of the tablet, especially what's concerning build quality. And then we have quite big difference, because the iPad Air obviously has a case completely made out of aluminum, while the Galaxy Tab A has no metal at all. There's no metal bezel or something. It's all made of plastic, which is kind of sad actually, especially for that price. In Germany, the Galaxy Tab A costs 279 euros, while the iPad Air 1 costs 389 euros. So there's quite a big price difference, but the Galaxy Tab A compared to other Android tablets is still quite expensive. Alright, that's the biggest difference. The build quality of the Galaxy Tab A is actually pretty good. It's quite solid. There's nothing weird about it. It's all plastic, but the build quality is fine. Of course, it does not feel as great in your hands and as the iPad Air, because of the aluminum of the iPad Air. Another major difference are those little things here. That's for kind of a smart cover to protect your display and the tablet itself. Of course, Apple offers something similar for the iPad Air, which is connected to the tablet completely with magnets, so not with these little things here. Let's go to the connectors. We've got a standard micro USB port on the Galaxy Tab A, and of course a Lightning connector on the iPad Air. Something that the iPad Air does not have is a micro SD card slot. That has always been the case. Samsung has it on the Galaxy Tab A. Apple on the iPad Air, of course, does not. No HDMI, no real dedicated HDMI or video out on both of them. So let's put them back to the side and take a closer look this time at the displays. I said it already, both are 9.7 inches, but there's a big difference with the resolution. Of course, the iPad Air has the standard Retina display. That's what Apple calls it. Those are 2048 by 1536 pixels. So it's quite a high resolution, quite a high pixel density. But Samsung did something that I really cannot explain why they did it. The display here has only a resolution of 1024 by 768, which is really low and kind of sad. I don't know why Samsung did it. I don't mind it that much while watching movies or playing games, but a big difference is noticeable when you're reading something, because when you're looking at text, then the text on the iPad Air are a lot sharper than on the Galaxy Tab A. You see the little pixels here, and it's just not as sharp as on the iPad Air, and that's really sad. I don't know why Samsung nowadays decides to put a display with a really low resolution like here in the tablet. It's basically the same resolution as with the first two iPads, and yeah, it's just very low. I can't explain it. On the other side, the display on the Galaxy Tab A seems a little bit brighter than on the iPad Air, only a little bit. So I can see kind of a yellow if you see a white background, it looks kind of yellowish a little bit on the Galaxy Tab A, while the iPad Air looks a little bit bluish. Don't look at the brightness right now because I adjusted it a little bit on both because of the light in this room. I had to turn it down a little bit on the displays so that it looks relatively good. But yeah, that's what I noticed. I don't think it's a big deal. The main difference between those displays is the resolution, and there Samsung clearly loses. Let's take a look at the rest of the hardware. Inside the iPad Air we have an Apple A7 chip, or if you have the iPad Air 2, it's an A8X chip, of course, while the Galaxy Tab A has a 1.2 GHz quad-core chip. It's always a little bit hard to compare the performance. Both operating systems run fine here, actually. What's the difference is noticeable is in games. On the iPad Air, obviously, pretty much all games run very smoothly because they are optimized from the iPad Air. But on the Galaxy Tab A, a lot of games run very good as well. That goes for smaller games like Temple Run 2 or Tetsuo Jumper, Fruit Ninja, of course. Same goes for Dead Trigger 2 or Asphalt 8, Airborne. Those games run smoothly on the Galaxy Tab A, but it doesn't go for all games. For example, Nova 3 Freedom Edition had a little bit of lags in it. It's not unplayable, but you notice the lags, which is not that good. So performance-wise, the iPad Air wins over the Galaxy Tab A. Another big difference is, of course, the operating system. On the Galaxy Tab A, we have Android 5.0 Lollipop, while we have the latest version of iOS on the iPad Air. And both operating systems run smoothly on their platform. And yeah, everybody knows the differences. We have different notifications on the Android operating system, better notifications in my opinion than on the iPad Air, but iOS has notifications by now too, of course. Yeah, those are the standard differences. But what's different in the case of Samsung is the touch with your eye. It's not as big, messy integrated like we knew it from other Samsung devices. And what I quite like about the Galaxy Tab A, about the operating system, about TouchWiz, is the multi-window feature, which Apple obviously does not offer with iOS 8. It basically means that you can open two apps directly next to each other. Let's just open the browser and the Play Store, and we can use both apps at the same time. We can pull it down a little bit or up depending on which window you want to have bigger. For example, you could watch a movie up here and do little writing, maybe take notes or surf the web or chat with your friends while you're watching a video. That, of course, is not possible with the iPad Air because Apple just simply does not offer it with iOS 8. And yeah, that's a big difference. That's a feature that other Android tablets do not have. Yeah, that's quite nice. Another thing is, which I quite like about the Galaxy Tab A, is the S Pen stylus. The sad thing is you can't get the version with the S Pen stylus in every country. In Germany, you can't get it at all. I'm in Taiwan right now where they offer it. And if you like a stylus, if you want to have the same features as with the Galaxy Note series, and if you really use a stylus, then you definitely should check out the Galaxy Tab A 9.7 with the S Pen stylus, because yeah, it's quite cheap, cheaper than the Galaxy Note tablets, and you have really nice features, good handwriting recognition, and of course the iPad Air does not offer this feature. You can get third-party styluses for the iPad Air, but they are not active like on the Galaxy Tab A. You have to get a capacitive stylus, which is not as precise as Samsung can do it on the Galaxy Tab A. But if you can't get the stylus in your country, then it doesn't matter, then you can forget about it immediately or travel to a country where you can get it. I don't know why Samsung does not offer it in every country. But anyways, when it comes down to it, I have to recommend the iPad Air over the Galaxy Tab A, even though it's more expensive, you get way more for your money, and the biggest reason for it is the low resolution on the Galaxy Tab A. If you don't want to spend as much money as for the iPad Air, or if you don't want to have a tablet from Apple, which I can understand, then you obviously can still choose the Android tablet, but please I would recommend not to choose the Galaxy Tab A. There are other tablets out there that are a little bit cheaper even and offer a higher resolution and have very similar hardware. So yeah, it's sad. I like the Galaxy Tab A in theory, but the display resolution is just too low, especially if you do a lot of reading. Alright, so this is a comparison between the Samsung Galaxy Tab A and the iPad Air. Please write me in the comments if you have any other things to add. Which tablets do you prefer? Yeah, I'm MJ for tabletblog.de. Thanks a lot for watching.